DeArmond with you for another 2 hours on a Thursday morning. Happy Thursday. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on this Thursday. A lot of stuff to get to. We have got a full slate of stuff to get to. The latest at Auburn, SEC hoops, the NFL draft, combine, I should say, not draft. The NFL combine invite sent out. How many, who, where. Malik Willis opened up to NFL.com on his time at Auburn. What did he have to say when it comes to the recruiting in the states of California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, some of the hotbeds of recruiting, who ruled the roost? But, man, oh, man, this is almost like listening to Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, One Life to Live, all of those soap operas back in the day, because every day you'd have something new, some kind of new plot, new twist, new story. Today it involves Auburn yet again. And I wish we could make this stuff up, but we don't. We are not making this up. So here it is. I mentioned yesterday I felt like maybe 60-40 Brian Harsin would return, and it's kind of flip-flopped back and forth.
Right.
Today I probably now 60-40 that he doesn't return. But here's where it gets interesting. Mm-hmm. Each and every year, the SEC coaches meet in Birmingham.
They do.
This is a scheduled thing. This is not an emergency thing. This is not. They do this in Birmingham. They come. They get together.
All of them.
They talk. They hash out some things. They talk about the season. I don't know what they do.
They vent, whatever.
Yeah. But that's going on today in Birmingham.
Correct.
As of right now. Mm-hmm. Brian Harsin plans to represent Auburn as their head coach.
Yep.
But Auburn yesterday decided that, hey, I guess what? If we're going to fire him for cause, we need to have a cause, because apparently we don't have a cause. So now we need to invent one. And they came up with a new university policy effective immediately yesterday that basically states that violations of this policy may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. The document says, and I quote, employees have a duty to cooperate fully and truthfully with investigations, inquiries, and reviews relating to the university responsibilities and professional obligations. For example, employees must do the following: cooperate in sharing requested information and participating in interviews, produce all requested university documentation within their custody or command, disclose additional information relevant to the investigation or review, and maintain confidentiality as advised. In other words, you must cooperate when we ask you to, otherwise you can be fired.
In other words, you didn't come back from your vacation in Mexico and we were trying to screw you over and trump up charges against you. And so since you didn't, we're going to create a clause that, they're calling it a policy, but it's basically a new clause.
Yes.
That we can fire you for cause because we're corrupt. And basically, and that's what they are. I mean, the folks running Auburn football are corrupt. And basically, they're trying to run him out of town on a rail and do anything they can not to pay the money, because most have said power brokers did not want him here to begin with. So it's actually a really pathetic, petty move.
This does kind of assure to me
that
there's no hope for Brian Harsin. They can fight all they want.
Well, but there's probably no hope for him keeping his job. But
that's what I mean.
But as our good friend Justin Hoganson said from on3sports.com and Auburn Live, very late last night, there's still no case for him not to get his entire buyout. In other words, pay me and go and leave. And I love the fact that Harsin's putting the screws to him and like, hey, I'm showing up to this meeting. I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm the football coach right now. In other words, you got to pay him the whole buyout, okay? You can come up with all this rigmarole and this bull crap and try to create things. They may have an executive session this morning and come up with another stupid clause, to try to trump up something on him. But really, it's pathetic what the people running Auburn football are trying to do. I mean, it really is asinine, and I think it makes them really look bad. I mean, they better thank the Lord for what Bruce Pearl's doing and giving them some positive publicity with their basketball program being number one in the country and hopefully being a 1 seed, because their athletic department, and really, and I'm not, and I guess I shouldn't even say that because Alan Green's not doing this. It's the folks on the board of trustees. It's the folks, the big donors and the boosters. They're really giving Auburn a black eye with the way they're handling this thing, which is they're not handling it with any class. They're certainly not giving the coach the full support he deserves because if you look at this, like Jeremy Pruitt was fired because the NCAA found things. And there was rules broken. That's a fact. You know, same way with you freeze. I mean, and the burner phones and whatever else. That was a fact. There has been no facts on Brian Harsin. Just a bunch of hearsay and rumor and a bunch of crap because they want to get rid of him and they don't like him. And so, to me, it's very toxic around that football program right now. Not the rest of the athletic department.
No.
I'm not including Butch Thompson in this. In baseball, I'm not including gymnastics. I'm not including basketball. Even with that FBI investigation with Bruce Pearl, I'm not saying anything about it because that's resolved. I'm talking about the football program and the way it's being run is pathetic right now if you're Auburn.
If I remember right, and tell me if I'm wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, when the NCAA investigation for basketball started, way back, 3 years
4
ago?
years ago, so yeah.
Didn't Bruce Pearl deny didn't he not want to meet with the university? Wasn't he stubborn and kicking his feet?
Absolutely.
They didn't create this policy when Bruce Pearl did this.
No, because he's number one in the country now, and they're on front of Sports Illustrated, and they think
Bruce Pearl was
think they're a blue blood in college basketball.
Yep.
So they're not worried about that. I mean, they're worried about getting rid of Brian Harsin because he didn't beat Alabama, he didn't recruit at a high level, and players and coaches are leaving his program. So they're paranoid and they're trying to get rid of him. And he won't run the program the way they see fit. So that's the reason that right now Brian Harsin's trying to get run out of town because they don't like the guy, period. It's not that he's not doing things the proper way. They don't. If he had gone 8-5 and beat Alabama, we're not even having this conversation.
Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is where we go next. 256-576-4977. You have the opportunity to get in on the show this morning. Jeff from the Borough with us out of the gates. Good morning, Jeff.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
I wanted to ask y'all a couple of high school questions. Down there, do y'all have a problem with getting officials for certain sports?
Yes.
There has been an official shortage in some instances, not for basketball, during this season for the most part, but I know in football there was an issue.
Yes.
Well, the reason why I say that our state association had I don't know what y'all call y'all's board, but they call it Board of Control up here, and they had a meeting, a Board of Control meeting this week. I think they have them 4 or 5 times. How many times they have them? But they had one this week, and they decided for this football season, the members of the state association that has football, we have 2 divisions, public and private. What they're going to do is on the football schedules, the state association is going to pick it, and they're going to pick one game to be on Thursday night because there's a shortage of officials and safety too. They say there's a shortage of them. There's not enough because there was one game I was supposed to cover last fall, and it was supposed to be on I think it was a Friday night, and they called up the school. It was like 2:00 that afternoon or 2:30 that afternoon, and told the school, said, y'all ain't gonna have no game tonight. We ain't got no official for y'all. We ain't gonna have it. We ain't gonna have no game. So they had to put it off. It was the next. I believe it was the next week. They played the next week, I believe, or 2 weeks or something. They made it up. Ended up making the game up later on. So that's what they're doing. They're going to have one game going to be on Thursday night next year, and they said there would be a minimum probably each week of probably 20 games on Thursday night each week probably. Yep. I don't know how many games y'all have on Thursday night down.
It just depends.
We have some, yeah.
Stadium, our thing here, especially in Huntsville.
Yeah.
It's stadium issues. There's only 2 stadiums and several schools that need to play. So a couple of the games have to be played on Thursday. Madison, 2 schools, 1 stadium, so they share. So there's an occasional Thursday game, but not because of official shortage do they move one to Thursday, but there is an official shortage when it comes to high school football in the state of Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then another thing, I was reading an article about spring sports, and there was an association in East Tennessee, an official association, and they say that they're having a problem finding baseball and softball officials, and they say that baseball, the baseball umpires that do baseball are switching over to softball now, because the softball games are shorter. They're not as long as baseball games are. So they said they want to get home earlier. And last spring I think it was 3 games. One of them was about like 16, 17 innings, I believe. That's about looking at my notes. And another one they played right before the end of the regular season over tournaments. I think that was like 13 or 14 innings they played last year. But they said they have a problem getting baseball officials because they're switching over to softball because the games they want to be home earlier and they're shorter. They're not as long as the baseball games are.
Huh?
So, but I just know y'all, because I know down here the big problem is not a lot of young people are getting into it, or they're doing it for a few years because they say, well, baseball and softball to me is the worst. But the parents is the problem. The parents and the fans and things hollering and screaming at them and stuff. Because football ain't so bad. You're away from the fans. You ain't got to worry hearing no fans and stuff. But these other sports it is. So I don't know. I'm sure y'all go to a lot of high school events and hear parents scream and holler like I do and things like that. There's that one guy, I'm trying to tell y'all a situation down here at the school. This guy was behind the fence and he kept hollering at the umpire about the strike zone, kept hollering and screaming at him. So the umpire, he had enough of it. After 2-3 innings, he had enough of it. So the team goes into the dugout. Of course, they going to the getting ready for the bat next time. And he goes up that a fan. He was still hollering and screaming at him. And he told him, he said, you sit behind that fence and watch a game, and I'll be behind this plate and call it. That's what he told him. Right to his face told him. And the only thing was separated was the fence. He told him. That's what he told him to his face. So he went back over and called the game. Of course, that parent didn't say nothing. That didn't say anything. Just sat there and watched all the rest of it. Didn't say no words or nothing. But I just didn't know if y'all had a problem. We have a big problem with the football. Is the biggest problem with our sports is football, not any other one, as far as officials and things. But I just wanted to ask y'all about that. I know there were some good games last night in the league. I know Alabama got a big win last night on the road, beating Ole Miss and everything. But I know another big weekend. I was going to ask you, Drew, what do you think about all these ranked teams losing this week? About 7 of them lost.
I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, SMU got Houston last night, at home, and that was a big win for them. And now they've played themselves into bubble contention because they've really not been mentioned as an at-large in the AAC. But again, SMU, they've got a nice squad. Houston's is still in contention for a top 2 seed, so I think that was only their 3rd loss. So that was big, and I know Xavier got beat as well. I mean, it's very difficult. It's why Auburn lost earlier this week. If you're in a tough league, it's tough to go undefeated in the conference, it's very tough when you got a target on your back and, you're going to drop games. A lot of it is how you react to adversity. Alabama did react well last night. They shot it well. That's basketball. They couldn't throw it in the ocean against Kentucky, who may be a 1 seed. We may get 2 1 seeds from the SEC, but they went 14-22 last night against Ole Miss. So it happens, man. It's just
Texas Tech and Ohio State lost last night.
Yeah, and Texas Tech. That's right.
I was counting it up. I think 7 ranked teams have already lost this week already.
Well, there's a lot of parity in college basketball, man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's true. There's no doubt. I watched some of the Virginia Duke game the other night. At the end of that game, I thought Virginia was going to go inside and try to tie it up, but they threw that 3 and hit it. So I didn't think they'd do that at all. But
that was in Cameron, so that was a huge win for Bennett because they needed that to stay in contention themselves because the ACC is right now considered maybe a 5-bid league, but Virginia can get in that conversation quickly.
All right, Jeff. Thanks for the call, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff from the Borough with us. All right, 256-576-4977. Arizona Jay with us now. Good morning, sir.
What's up?
What's up? I woke up this morning think there was going to be some kind of solution to all this stuff, and then they come up with like a playground freaking rule. Like, you can't come in a sandbox unless you know what I mean? It's like a real childish thing that's going on. And I don't know. It's like you got a bunch of control freaks at the top. It's like, do you really care about winning or do you care about just being in control of everything? It's like a kid with all the toys and don't want to relinquish nothing. And you're trying to get the guy fired for some moral stuff that's really none of our business. But at the same time, I'm hearing they talking about they want to hire Hugh Freeze, which is AKA the dude that was trying to hire a bunch of lot lizards on the company phone. So it's like, dude, in this case, you know what? You might as well just go get your boy Urban Liar, Drew. Cause you know what I mean? You might as well go get him because you really don't care about morals. I don't know if you care about winning, but, I mean, it's like, come on, bro. I mean, the only dilemma that I'm dealing with right now, which I'm happy about, I'm an Auburn fan and an Arizona fan, and you know what? I pray to God I ain't got to sit up and watch these two play in the NCAA tournament because I'm not even going to watch. But it's like, dude, you already got – you might as well – when Urban Meyer was at Florida, the basketball team was pumping out national championships and the football team. You can have this same thing going on. But that's if you really care about winning because right now I don't know what these people up top care about. And it's like, you know what? Put these people on blast. Put a name in the face on TV so we can see who's doing this.
Yeah, I agree, man. I feel bad for Harsin. I think he deserves a second year. I don't understand why they're trying to run him out of town on a rail just because he wants to run the program his way. I mean, see, you haven't even allowed it to play itself out. You let 1 year happen. And you're not allowing him to try to run the program. You hired him. You hire an athletic director to make those decisions. Everybody understands boosters have influence, but they shouldn't be the be all end all. And again, I just think it's a bad look for Auburn what they're trying to do to Harsin and the way they're trying to get rid of him.
Obviously, the school is investigating what is going on.
Yeah.
And it means that, to me, they're not finding anything in the investigation
that would
result in firing him for a cause.
Right.
So they've come up with this thing yesterday to get him out of there for cause because he's not cooperating and giving them anything because there's nothing to give.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to give, and it's like, you know what, the girl that they trying to, implicate or they got this stuff off the internet, she might have a case to, sue whoever's behind it. You know what I mean? And we're not stupid. I mean, the girl was a cheerleader, all of a sudden assistant, come from boys at the Auburn. But you know what? If that is true, it's none of our business. And you know what? She'd probably be able to sue him for enough money to where she ain't got to assist nobody for the rest of her life.
Yeah, exactly. So, we haven't even been going there with that because there's you're talking about no proof of anything there with that kind of thing. I mean, come on. I mean, that's
and the thing about it, you're trying to put this guy on the rails for this, but yet you're talking about hiring Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, exactly. The pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, exactly.
Or you want a coach that, I mean, they wanted Kevin Steele, who was a disaster as a head coach. At least Brian Harsin, he may not have had the SEC experience, but at least he had success before he got to Auburn.
Yeah.
Kevin Steele did not.
No, he did not. They're just wanting control, and Kevin Steele ingratiated himself with the influencers. That's what it is. And Brian Harsin told him to go stick.
It's just sad that you're so big of a control freak. You don't care how stupid you look to the public, just as long as you're in control. It's almost like you have no shame in your game. Period. Just as long as you're in control.
And don't forget the verbally abusing the players, which any coach worth his grain of salt is going to get after some butts. Yep. That's all I'll say.
Yep. All right, bud.
Thanks you, Jay.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Let's get one more real fast. Brandon's with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Guys, taking a look at this basketball schedule, and after what happened the other night, this Arkansas game circled a little bigger than what it would have been after they took down Auburn.
Well, Arkansas should have been circled big before they took down Auburn.
Yeah,
I mean, they were.
It's Alabama's biggest home game left. Yeah.
Arkansas had been playing good now for about a month.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, the Houston loss, I don't know if it diminishes Alabama's win over them as much. Maybe, puts a dent in it. But the Arkansas game was circled for me. But this one, to me, is circled a little bigger because of their physicality. But you're right, it is the biggest home game left. And I'm sitting here looking that we got 3, 4, 5, 6, we got, 7 home games left? There are 5 winnable games here to get us to 20 like Drew said yesterday. Going to Rupp Arena and playing Kentucky is going to be a little tough. And I feel like the biggest emphasis has got to be to win this game against Arkansas on Saturday night. I don't think we're going to shoot as bad as we did against Kentucky in the first game and the second one. But showing we can be really physical if we can play against this Arkansas team should give his team a boost it needs to go run through Vanderbilt, South Carolina, ATM, and MoneyGram.
Well, I mean, I think Alabama, the one game that they've got 2 huge games left that are going to be very, very difficult, home against Arkansas and at Rupp. And all the games are going to be tough. They're capable of winning them all, but I think they're capable of going down and losing. They have to play well. They have to shoot it. They certainly did last night, scoring 97 points. They defended well at times, but at times, as Oates said in the postgame, it wasn't as good. But they got to win. They played together, and they're going to have to do the same thing going forward. Jaden Shackelford, it wasn't really talked about much, but he did have the flu all week before the Kentucky game, and it affected him. He was healthy last night. You saw what he did with 30 and 8 threes, so he's very capable. But again, I think this Alabama team, first and foremost, they did get a road win. Now they're second, but they need to protect their home floor, win those 4 home games. And if they could steal another one on the road, whether it be, you talked about Western Union, you talked about Nashville. Now, Rupp Arena, I'm not even touching that because this is a great Kentucky team. That's going to be very difficult. But if they could get another road win and protect their home floor and get to 20 regular season wins before Tampa, they are absolutely a top 5 seed just simply because of the schedule they've played, because that Houston loss is not going to affect Alabama much unless Houston goes on some sort of losing streak, which I don't think anyone's anticipating with Kelvin Sampson's squad.
Well, and I got to watch a little bit of the rerun of the game against Kentucky the other night, and you can see the fast break AAU DNA that's in JD.
Yeah.
And he's got to learn to fight that. You cannot play that kind of ball in this league where you're just flying up and down the court. These teams are too good and they're too physical, and especially Arkansas is way too physical for that. Like 5 minutes to go in that game, and he throws some rainbow of a pass. Nobody knows where in the hell it was going to. That's what I need out of him is just focus. Stop getting trapped. Stop throwing these wild passes. Stop thinking that you can fast break up the court. You're going to have to move the ball deep into the clock to the man that's open and stay with the game plan of moving the ball. I don't like all the threes as much as I did last year, but I just feel like I need him once again to play better to give us a chance in this game, and I'm hoping that he can do that. I'm hoping he can start to get out of that AAU-style way of playing ball and understand that you've got to fist fight your way up and down the court in this game.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Brandon.
Yeah,
all right,
no
but
doubt.
we are up
Good
against
stuff.
the break, though.
And he went 7 of 8 last night and played much better, and with 8 assists for J.D. Davison.
All right, Brandon. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Let's get our break in. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school basketball. Greg Brown, Lee Generals. They're on the clock next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food, from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. And you can enjoy $50 worth of delicious Bubby's Diner food for half price with this week's Zone Deal. On sale now online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm sorry. can't operate on that vehicle.
But doctor, you took an oath.
That RV, it's my son's RV.
Oh, doctor, isn't there anything you can
I'm not a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm an RV surgeon, trained to save the lives of large, injured recreational vehicles, which is definitely a real profession.
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Got a couple of wrecks and a couple of stalls this morning. Wrecks are at 53 in Douglas and Governor's House in 9th Avenue. Stalls are at 72 in Ryland Pike and in Morgan County, 36 at Danville Road. Got a prom coming up? You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with 2030 Fast Track. 2030huntsville.com for info. Captain Nick in the 72 in Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to Talking Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, welcome back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. We are in the midst of win or go home when it comes to high school basketball. Well, really, the win or go home portion is over right now.
Yep.
Because in this state, you can actually lose in the postseason and still move on.
You just want to make the area finals.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, though,
yeah.
Really. I mean, simply, if you get to the area finals, you're guaranteed at least another game, win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to win that first one in your area. The League Generals, top ranked in the state when it comes to Class 5A, have a quest to get to the BJCC, not just to the area finals. They've got a longer quest. And, you know, it's funny. They're ranked number 1 in the state.
Mm-hmm.
They've been ranked number 1 in the state.
They're the defending 5A champs.
Defending 5A champs.
Right.
And when we talked to Greg Brown at the beginning of the season, it was, this may be my, I don't know about this team. I don't know. Yeah, Coach was laying in the weeds on that one.
Well, they've got a great team. He's had a great run, 20-plus years as head coach, and won 2 state championships, going for a third. And he's got a special group of young people that are going for tonight are going to be playing for a championship, and they will be playing their rivals, the May Jemison Jaguars, trying to do something that's very difficult, beat a team 3 times in a season, and they certainly are going to do that. They will be hosting it at Lee's Gymnasium. The ladies winning under Jay Silas last night. You talked about that on Zone Center, Scott. And they are number 1 as well. That's what's so special right now being a Lee General. You have the number 1 team in boys basketball, the number 1 team in girls. But the coach of the Lee Generals, the longtime coach, a guy that I go back with many years to Calhoun Community College and have known him since he was, a middle school coach. And he then went back to his alma mater and has done a remarkable job. and that's Greg Brown, and he's been good enough to join us this morning. Coach, good morning. And I know you've basically been burning the candle at both ends, considering you have two sons playing in the SEC at Missouri, so we appreciate you getting up with us.
Oh, man, anytime. It's always great to speak with you guys.
Yeah, Coach, and we were having some fun laughing at the fact that at the beginning of the year you said this team, you didn't know about it. What in your mind changed your feeling from the beginning to where we are now?
Well, it wasn't really so much the beginning. I still felt the same way, and I still have my doubts at times. Just bringing a couple of two starters back, and then you got a brand new team with, a bunch of guys that's inexperienced, man. We were forced to have to grow up real fast. So I think our schedule allowed us to do that, especially when we got a chance to get out of town and really play those top-notch teams and take some lumps. And I think it really prepared my boys, and they responded pretty well. But now going into a game such as, playing Jemison, this is a team that we've played twice. Every game was a great game. It's kind of hard for me to see the setup because we could have possibly played Jemison 4 times by now. We have 2 times during the regular season. We have the Huntsville times. We have the Bob Jones Thanksgiving tournament. That's 4 times. We almost ran into them. And then if we play them tonight. And then if we're lucky enough, we can meet and play them again. I mean, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Well, it is, Coach, but the community certainly turns out and supports it. I know you guys had a capacity crowd, and you'll have one tonight. I mean, certainly all the tickets are on GoFan for the postseason, but the fans are very supportive, and it's a great rivalry with kids that grew up around one another. And then I'll say this. I know you've had a lot of great players, and you've been very fortunate in your time at Lee to win a lot of basketball games. But I'll say as a senior, and I've seen him play 3 or 4 times this year, Jakari Lane, he's gotten better every year for you. But this year I feel like he's taking his game to the next level. I think he's the best player in the city of Huntsville, and certainly a Division I future guard. He has been tremendous. He's been like a grown man out there. Certainly you guys were very fortunate to beat Huntsville High twice, and that's where I got to see him up close. He is absolutely one of the best players I think you've ever coached, in my opinion, and I've been fortunate to watch a lot of your teams.
Well, it's funny you say that. You are absolutely correct. I tell everyone that Jakari Lane, for a 5'10", 5'11" guard, he's the best at that height that I've ever had, and I've had some really good ones. But he's the best at that height, and you said it best. He's like a grown man, the way he thinks, the way he moves, his feel for the game. It's, a lot of colleges that I spoke with, they were talking about the portal, and they were trying to hang around to see what was in the portal, and they wanted to get back with him because he's definitely capable of playing on the Division I level, but this kid, trust me, he can compete with any of those guys that's a freshman or sophomore in anybody's portal. He has that kind of heart and desire to play the game. So I was really glad when he decided to make a decision to go ahead and commit to UNA because he wants to be near his mom. He loves his mom dearly, and he wants to be near his mom. And the other office was pretty far away. We went to Vegas, and we picked up offers there out west, and then we went to New Orleans, and we picked up a couple, and UNA just seems to fit him and his family needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, how fun is it to be in this spot again? I mean, you guys have you've had a target on your back all season. You're the defending 5A champs. You're now in the area finals. I mean, how fun though has this been? How fun has this ride been?
Well, I think right now, win or lose, we have had a fun ride. It's funny that you say that. I couldn't ask for any more out of this group, whether we make it from here or we just had a great time. The kids enjoy each other. They've gotten so much closer, and having that number one target on your back, I think regardless if we're 1, 2, 5, 6. Everybody's we're known. We've only not been to the regional finals only once since I've been there in 20 years. So it's this is always a fun time, something I'm used to. I'm just taking with me some babies that don't have a clue as to what they're about to see. That's what's scary for me.
Well, Coach, and I wanted to ask you too. We know Jakari and is basically the leader of this squad, being a senior, and now a UNA line commit for Tony Pujol. We're excited for him and that he's going to stay locally, and we're going to get a chance to see him on the college level. But talk about some of the other guys on your team that have stepped up, because anytime you have a target on your back like this, but yet you're number one in the state, you certainly have played at a high level. You guys, and I wanted to laud your coaching staff as well. I know you've had some times to watch your sons play and travel, but Ken Betts has picked it up, and I thought you guys played really well. You finished third in the Classic, but you guys played at a very high level in that tournament. He did a great job with your players, but just talk about some of the other kids that have stepped up, and then your coaching staff that has done a remarkable job as well. Anytime you have a program with this kind of consistency, it's a team effort.
Yes, I tell you, we wouldn't be where we are, as good as Jakari is. We wouldn't be where we were without the assistance of Dexter Smith. He does a lot for us. He fixes things. He's a playmaker. He can score the ball. He's a captain, big time leader. He speaks out, to the players. He and Jakari are two of the best leaders I've ever had in my program when it comes to getting the other guys to respond. So he's big for us, averages about 14 points a game. And then you go over to James Vassar, who just committed to Hutchinson. And also Dexter Smith will be headed to he will be committing on Friday to a university. So, he's there are two pieces. He and Jakari are two pieces that make us go. And then you add James Vassar, someone that's physical and shows a big presence. And a serious presence in the paint, along with Jaquez Mallory, who's 6'5", 6'6". He hasn't been playing that much. He's been out for a while, just popping in and out because of he wasn't able to play on certain nights. But when he's with us, we're really strong. And then I got Naaman Hobbs, who's a sophomore, who's going to be really good. He'll be a 4-year player on the next level. And then DeAvis Woods, who's probably going to be one of the top guys around here next year. As he's a junior, he's really good. He's got a lot of Division I hits as we speak, low to mid major right now. So I think he'll continue to grow. We have had success. I think most of our success is me having a staff that I've had for a while now that's able to take the reins and run with it when I'm not around, and the kids give them the same respect that they give me. And having Coach Betts there, you got another head coach, so I don't have to watch. I don't have to be afraid to step away from the program because it's going to run like a well-oiled machine. He's really good at what he does. He has the passion for it. I brought in your Antoine Havishare, your Jonathan Battle, your guys with a lot of energy. Just picked up Tracy Burnett, comes over now, and they help our staff, guys that have played for me. So that's really big for them to know, what it is I expect and get that over to the kids.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next couple points here. Mm-hmm. Number one, Coach, I hate that I missed you at the Classic, but Coach Ken Betts
it was great.
Was phenomenal when it came to interviews on the court, as well as just basically having a live mic next to him. Now, I appreciate the fact that you gave us Ken Betts.
Yes.
Because it was gold as far as radio goes. And I can see, he was perfect. And it leads me into my next point, because the reason why you were not there was because you did get to see your sons play on the college level, which is amazing. Yeah. How different has this year been for you not coaching one of your sons on the sidelines?
Yeah.
Well, it was a little scary until I got up close to midway the season because, having one of them there, I knew that I had a soldier that was going to keep the troops up. With those two guys, they were my out for the last 5 years, and now I was wondering where I was going to turn for that. Jakari Lane is a quiet kid, but on the court this year, he's really, really, really stepped into his role. So, I mean, just not having them there, that was a safety net for me having my boys there. They were two big guards. Nobody could really stop them, I would say, around my area. So it gave me an advantage, and also having Tay Fields, and
love Tay,
kids like that. But yeah, man. So now, it's a little bit on the scary side, but Jakari and Dexter and James has made it so much more. How would you say they've really given me a chance to look forward to another great experience that I wasn't looking forward to.
Yeah, they've been a steadying influence in coaches. We spend the last couple of minutes with you. You've already referenced it in the conversation, how good Mae Jemison is and Jeremy Bynum and his staff taking over this year. But in order to win this area championship and get a chance to host the sub-regional, what must you do against the Jaguars and to march on and stay in? It's very important in the sub-regional. You want to stay on your home floor.
Yeah, that is important, but unfortunately on my home floor, everybody plays well.
Yeah,
that's what scares me.
Yeah.
But, Mae Jemison is who they are. They have a name, Mae Jemison, and they've been great through the years. I can't think of a year they haven't been very competitive, and they have a lot of great athletes over there. So, we're going to be, Mae Jemison will be who they are, a big-time competitive team that's going to always fight, to advance. And I don't expect anything less from them. They got a new coach, and I think he's going to do a good job over there. He's got a good staff with him that I know that gives him the support he needs. So, regardless as to what happens, we both get to move one way or another way. I mean, two different ways. So I'm just glad and thankful for both of us for getting this opportunity. But it definitely will always, be pleasing to the fans to watch these kids play.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you nothing but the best of luck tonight. Good luck.
And we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see the Generals march on and continue a path to repeating as state champions and get your third title in your 20-year tenure with your alma mater. But we always appreciate it. And, again, continued success to your sons with Quanzo Martin in Missouri, but always are appreciative of the time you give us. Thank you this morning.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Greg Brown with us, Lee General head coach. Let's get a break in. When we come back, Sports Illustrated just put out an article, Drew, that basically said Auburn should have vetted Brian Harsin better because of problems at Arkansas State. We'll fill you in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
I love overpriced stuff. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. What could be better?
Wow is better. Get Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Sign up at Huawei.com.
Wow.
Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
Got a couple of wrecks and a couple of stalls this morning. Wrecks are at 53 in Douglas and Governor's House and 9th Avenue. Stalls are at 72 in Ryland Pike and in Morgan County, 36 at Danville Road. Got a prom coming up? You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with 2030 Fast Track. 2030huntsville.com for info. Captain Nick in the 72 in Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Well, welcome back to Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. And we've been talking some more about the Auburn situation with Brian Harsin and their new policy that they put into place. And I could say, not sports, I meant to say Sports Illustrated, but it was actually Fan Nation who put this out there.
Yes, okay.
That it's entitled "Few in Jonesboro Surprised Harsin May Get Fired at Auburn." And it says that when Brian Harsin was at Arkansas State, they should have vetted Arkansas State and asked them about Brian Harsin because the AD at the time was getting ready to fire Brian Harsin. And they said, he was going to get fired. I was standing right there when Terry told him after he had to go get him for a press conference. It said at the end of a tumultuous season, Harsin blew off a press conference after he had ditched a post-game radio appearance, and they had to go get him at his house. It wasn't a pleasant conversation, and it said Arkansas State avoided the whole firing when Harsin was picked by Boise State to be Chris Peterson's offensive coordinator before going to picked to be the head coach at Boise State.
Yeah, he replaced.
So, in other words, they're saying that Arkansas State would have told Auburn that it wasn't a good situation when he was at Jonesboro if they would have asked him before being the head coach at Auburn. So now people are piling on Brian Harsin.
Oh, they are. And, of course, no one has probably dug to see if there were some meddling boosters at Arkansas State that didn't like the way he was running the program. You can come up with anything and everything. There's always somebody that doesn't like a coach, man. All I know is he did have a winning record at Arkansas State in his 1 year there. So they've had a lot of coaches leave that program, including Gus Malzahn, who was a one-and-done there.
Speaking of Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Oh, this will be great.
Jordan Bianchi asked him yesterday, his thoughts on the Auburn situation.
Oh, this is classic.
And Gus said, I'm not going to get into what's going on there. I just feel blessed to be here.
In other words, thank the Lord I don't have Jimmy Rain calling my phone anymore, right? Demanding that I change offensive coordinators for the 15th time. I mean, whatever.
I give Bianchi credit for asking Gus Malzahn, but, I mean, what was Gus going to say?
Yeah, I mean he took the high road.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
But you're right.
I think his stress level is probably a lot less, though. Now, he made a ton of money, and Jimmy Sexton got him paid. We know that. They're still in the process of paying him off, $20 million?
Yep.
And now they're about to have to write a check for $18.3.
College basketball from last night. Alabama stops the two-game slide. 97-83 winners against Ole Miss. Shackelford career high, 30 points and 8 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, he was on fire last night, certainly. He shot the ball really well, and that's basketball. People were asking me, like, where has this been? How can Alabama all of a sudden shoot it this well? And that's just the way it is. Sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. And, they actually got off to a slow start. Ole Miss had a lead, but certainly by halftime, Alabama had started to shoot it really well. And when you look at what Shackelford was able to do, 8 of 13 from the three-point line, 10 of 17 overall, 36 minutes for him. Javon Quinterly, he ends up with 8 assists. They really shared the ball well. Only 9 points, but again, he had a really good floor game. Keon Ellis, so efficient. When he's efficient and hitting shots, he was 5 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. And then you look and see what J.D. Davison did. And Brandon called in talking about J.D. J.D. had struggled the previous couple of SEC games, no question. He played really well against Baylor, but did not play well at Auburn, did not play well at home against Kentucky. But last night he was 7 of 8. And the interesting part was he didn't come in, Scott. Usually what they've been doing is the first media timeout at the 16-minute mark or so.
Yeah.
J.D. comes in. Well, they waited until 8 minutes into the game to get J.D. in there, and he got into a rhythm, made both of his threes, did not hesitate. 7 of 8, as we said, was able to drive and finish. He had 8 assists himself. And so the offense was extremely efficient last night. Certainly they played very, very well. They only played Rojas 8 minutes, but when he was on the floor, I think they were a plus 14. Noah Gurley got the hard hat award for efficiency. He had 10 and 7. Really played a lot of 5 because of the matchup. They took Bediako off the floor, had Noah Gurley in there some, playing the 5 spot, and Noah had one of his better games, from an efficiency standpoint and doing some of the dirty work. So again, and then they played Juson Holt 26 minutes last night. Juson did get a bucket, but played really good defense. And I've been wondering what Alabama thought long-term with Juson. They obviously like what they've been seeing in practice because he played that's got to be a career high last night, 26 minutes, and gave him some really good defense and efficiency as well. So I think overall it was a big win for Alabama. As you already pointed out, they had a 3-game losing streak in the SEC that they needed to stop. They're 5 and 6 in the league now, but it's just getting started because we talked about earlier in the hour, Alabama's got to play Arkansas now, they've got to be. Arkansas and Tennessee are the 2 hottest teams in the league. Now, Auburn, I still think is the best team.
Right.
But we're just talking about from winning basketball.
Winning games right now.
Tennessee got it done against Mississippi State last night. They're playing very well. And Arkansas, as the old saying goes, they hadn't lost in a month of Sundays. They're hot.
Alabama did come in ranked 13 out of 14 in SEC schools in three-point shooting percentage. 14 of 22 last night.
Yep.
64%. Thing is you got to understand that 64% is not sustainable. You're not going to shoot 64% every night. But if you can shoot 40, 42, 43%, that's good. 60% is
well, I mean, and it was
unreal.
good against Auburn, even though they lost 181. They were 14 of 37, which is good. But they just didn't defend very well. Auburn played at a very high level. But it's like Nate Oates said, last night was kind of a law of averages. In other words, the extreme bad was how they shot against Kentucky.
This was
the extreme good. Yeah.
Yes. You got to find that middle ground. And
consistency.
And that is where a lot of teams struggle, though. I mean,
right.
it's not just Alabama. There's a lot of teams in college basketball right now that are struggling because sometimes the analytics take it and the analytics give it.
Well, we're going to talk to him tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to get his thoughts, but John Schulman would probably agree
John
with
Schulman just texted me, by the way. And this was totally on me. I forgot to let Coach know that we're going to get him tomorrow. I was going to tell him a little bit here. Hey, Coach, we're going to get you tomorrow. And he just texted me and asked. He goes, hey, are we talking this morning? And I said, Coach, it's totally on me. And he's like, no big deal. He goes, just let me know. But, yeah, Coach Schulman, we're going to get you tomorrow. So I will text you here in a second and let you know again. And when we were at Valdosta, I asked him, I said, hey, Coach, can we talk tomorrow? And he goes, yes, send me a text right now to remind me.
Never boring on the road with Coach
boring.
Schulman.
No. Anyway, hour 1 is in the books. We're going to kick off hour 2 talking more high school basketball. Jay Silas is going to join us. Going to talk some league girls basketball. They're on a quest as well.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck 231 and Joe Quick reported with injuries. Got one in Decatur at Grant and Somerville that may be an injury time. And we got traffic signal work at Washington and Max Luther. That may be a problem throughout the morning. No hose, no mask. Ask Dr. Sandman. That's Dr. Sandlin for information on the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea or snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Overall, going to be a really beautiful Thursday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Generally speaking, we stay warm as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s. A mostly sunny sky once again for your Friday. A beautiful end of the work week across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures hanging out in the low and mid 60s, dropping into the lower 40s as we head into the overnight. We're not going to be near as warm on Saturday. Mostly cloudy sky and isolated showers going to be possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Saturday night in Houston, UFC 271 for the middleweight championship. Challenger Robert Whittaker and reigning champion Israel Adesanya will battle in a rematch of UFC 243. Adesanya the -280 favorite, Whittaker +230. Super Bowl MVP odds: Matthew Stafford the favorite at +125, Joe Burrow +225, Cooper Kupp at +550, Aaron Donald +1200, and Jamar Chase at +2000. The Rams a 4-point favorite over the Bengals in Super Bowl 56 on Sunday night. John Rahm the odds-on favorite to win the 2022 Waste Management Open underway in Scottsdale today. Justin Thomas behind him at +1,000, followed by Hideki Matsuyama at +1,400.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. One more hour of fun for us. Gonna shift gears back to high school basketball to kick off hour number 2. We talked Lee High School boys. Let's talk Lee High School girls to kick off hour 2 real fast.
Yeah, no doubt. The Lee High School girls in the latest poll, number 1 in the state. What a special year for Lee Generals athletics. First of all, they have the number 1 boys team in the state, the defending champions, but the young ladies have not gotten enough credit for what they've been doing this year. I saw them early in the season. They got a big win over at Huntsville High against Jeff Smith's Crimson Panthers. Their head coach, Jay Silas, in his 9th year, done a remarkable job at Lee, and they are number 1 in 5A right now. And last night, Scott, got a big win over at Lee High School, 42-31, as you detailed on Zone Center before our show. They get the win over East Limestone to claim the 5A Area 16 championship. So and they'll now be at home for the sub-regionals. And Coach Silas has been good enough to get up with us this morning as we continue the conversation about Lee High School and this special year for these young people. And he's going to join us now and talk some Lee Lady Generals hoops. Coach, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Good morning, Drew and Scott. How are you all?
Doing good, Coach.
We're really good, and I know we had a chance to speak with you a little bit at Media Day, and I know you were excited about your team. You told us to watch out for the Lady Generals. Been a special year so far, Coach.
It has. It's been a really special year. Like I said back in Media Day at the beginning of the year, it's a good, close-knit group. They really works hard in the classroom and on the court. Been through so much adversity, and how these young ladies have responded is tremendous. It's tremendous.
Well, Coach, you've ascended to the top of the rankings in Class 5A, all the way there. Obviously, the prize is in the BJCC. That is where this team wants to get.
Correct.
How talented is this group, and what does that road look like ahead to get to that journey or to get to that end prize?
We have a pretty tough road, but like I said before, the young ladies have shown resiliency, and they believe, and I believe, and everybody in the program believes that we have a great chance if we play as a team and stay together and healthy. Here recently, within our last couple of games, we had 5 girls that was out with injuries.
Wow.
So for us to still compete and play, sometimes with just 5 girls in a game, it's remarkable.
It really is, Coach. I mean, that says so much about the culture and the program you've built. And there's a lot of stability at Lee High School. And what I mean by that, Coach Brown has been there 20 years and had a lot of great players and a lot of great teams. And now you're in your 9th year already, nearly a decade at Lee. That stability and comfortability with your program has to mean a lot because it's the consistency of performance with the young ladies and the young men know what to expect day in and day out with the people that are in charge, such as yourself and Coach Brown.
Yeah, and being around Coach Brown, like before I took over the girls program, I actually was under Coach Brown as an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Coach Williams, the late great Coach Williams that just passed recently, they both instilled in me the values and the morals that be consistent like that for Lee. And Lee really is truly a family. And we have it's one program. I know it's boys and girls, but we also need Coach Brown and myself. We look at just being one program, one big family, and we do a lot of things that are similar to each other. And I believe it has carried over to success on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, talk about your girls a little bit. Talk about who's kind of led the way for you.
That's the thing. We're a pretty deep team. Like I mentioned before, having 5 girls out of injury, I don't think anybody else wanna endure that and still go through and be competitive and win games. But we're led with four seniors. One of my seniors, she's out for the season, and Michaela Ford. She was averaging 12 points for us and 5 steals, which is unbelievable in high school. Then we have Janiyah Silas, which is my daughter, a 5'9" wing player that can handle the ball, very high IQ, and can really shoot the ball lights out. She had a couple of games this year where she shot 9 threes and kind of just went off. Then we have another senior, Jada Colley, that when I say is a smooth player, can do everything, play defense, handle the ball, can shoot the ball, very shifty. She really does a lot for us. And then we have a post player, Gisela Burns, that's a senior, that is a rim protector. And when you can find a rim protector on the girls' side, that is big. Now you can really get out and pressure the ball like we like to, knowing that you have somebody back there that's going to protect the rim and make it hard for the opposing teams to score. But with the seniors, we have a good nucleus of young girls. I have some 8th graders and 9th graders that's really coming along. And then one in particular player that's really helping us all is a sophomore in Lamaya Batum. You probably see it in the paper and everything like that. Very humble young lady, just a hard worker. Like she's going to rebound and do the little dirty things that we need. And then you got Ra Taplin is a ball handler, controls the floor. And then, like I say, 2 younger players, London Harris and Jayla Turner. They're coming on and bringing in a lot of intensity. And it's helping us all get us through. And as well, I got one other daughter on my team, Khalees Salas, a young 8th grader that's another shooter as well. She's been helping us and growing up a whole lot with her and Sanaa Lipscomb. But, yeah, that's the biggest thing. We're a deep team, a family-oriented team that likes to play defense, likes to get out and run the floor. And every night is somebody different. That's why I said we done had 8 different leading scorers this year, so it's fun to watch.
Well, and and because of that, and then when I saw you against Huntsville, you definitely had you trusted your players. You guys played at a high tempo, and you played a lot of young ladies. And I think that's the key, because when you lose someone like Miss Ford, who averaging 12 points a game, and as you said, 5 steals, and as a senior and someone that's played a lot of basketball for you, but when you lose her to a season-ending injury, having played so many young ladies and developed the depth on your squad, it's certainly hard to sustain an injury like that. But you have a chance to have other young ladies step up and then and continue to play at a high level. So you trusting them and allowing a lot of people to get a lot of your players to get playing time and develop that depth. If you have an injury, it doesn't necessarily mean a death blow to your season.
Yeah, and that is so true. And we actually kind of dealt with that last year. I had another player that went down, and we lost to the 2 teams that played in the state championship last year by 2 points. The eventual champs last year, we lost in overtime by 2, and in the runner-up, we lost by 2 at the end of the regular season. So, and we lost one senior last year. We had 2 seniors. We lost one to an injury, ending injury, and then another to graduation. So that's why we felt confident and believed that we had a chance this year if we could stay healthy and just stay close-knit and believe in the process. We was like, we had a great chance.
We'll talk about this area wins and picking up area championship. How special are those area championships?
Really special. My first 7 years, we got accustomed and kind of got spoiled. Or I should say first 6 years, but we got kind of spoiled. And we was always in the area championship and going to the regional and everything like that. But these last 2 years, we haven't made it out of the area. And we had some tough areas. The teams in our area, we normally played in an area where we have 2 or 3 teams that's in the top 10.
Yeah.
So, being with Hazel Green and Mae Jemison and Buckhorn, and then last year, East Limestone was in the top 10. We was in the top 10, and Mae Jemison was in the top 10. So it's always been a dogfight for us. North Alabama is good basketball. Like you really have to pay attention and get your girls to play and be ready every night. Like, because any night, anything can go, anything can happen. So winning the area championship is special. And on top of that, we went out to Vegas this year and we won the championship. So the girls got a taste of that. Went to Talkin Classic, very prominent tournament, and that's when they really believe and seem like, hey, this is possible. Like, we have what it takes to get to the top and get that blue map, and that's the ultimate goal.
Well, and also when you win that area championship, you get a chance to host the sub-regional, and in basketball, playing on your home floor, the familiarity of everything, the fan support. Lee has outstanding support. That's always key when you're trying to go on a run, Coach, to get to regionals and then ultimately, hopefully, to the Final 48 in Birmingham. So true, so true. It's not like being at home. So, like you said, familiarity and having fans to come in and support you, it's nothing like being at home. No, there's not. Well, Coach, it's been a remarkable run, remarkable year so far for Lee. We hope it continues. We hope to see both of you bring home a blue trophy, but certainly these young ladies and these seniors, you've got, as you said, you're being led by some outstanding players that have been a part of your program for 4 years. They get one more home game now over at Lee High School next week. Congratulations on that 5A Area 16 championship, beating the East Limestone Lady Indians 42-31 yesterday. Now the boys program trying to take that baton and win it tonight against Mae Jemison. Should be another packed house over at Lee, but we appreciate you, the job you've done with these young ladies, and being number one in the state. That is an outstanding, another feather in the cap for our community. We're very proud of our basketball in Madison County. We feel like it's the best in the state of Alabama. You're a big part of that, and we appreciate you for joining us this morning and telling us about this journey thus far for your Lady Lee Generals. Well, I appreciate it, Drew and Scott. Thank you, Doug. Just thanks for having us on, and thanks for all that you do for the community and recognizing these players.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a good one.
Best of luck to the Lee ladies as they move forward. And there's a lot of great high school basketball being played right now, and not just in the city of Huntsville, but in Madison County, going out into Sand Mountain.
Oh, there is.
Morgan County, into the Shoals.
There is.
Northeast and Northwest regionals are going to be fun to watch this year.
They are. They really are. And we've detailed it. We previewed the games this week on Talkin Ball.
Yeah.
For 7A Area 7 boys, it was a great crowd out at Huntsville High last night. A lot of support. We appreciate everybody for coming out. And I want to give a shout-out to Dylan Bennell and the Albertville Aggies. Just about a week and a half ago, they came to Huntsville, and the Panthers played about as well as they could, and Albertville struggled to make shots. They lost the game decisively, but last night they played like warriors. It was a 42-40 game, Scott, heading into the fourth quarter. Albertville actually led 33-22 at half. They played extremely well and built a lead against Huntsville. But Huntsville High, they've kind of been laying in the weeds all year. They won the regular season 7A Area 7 championship when it looked like that Grissom and Sparkman were certainly the two best teams, but Huntsville just kept getting better. And Huntsville played an unbelievable second half last night, outscoring Albertville 45-16, played with such passion and intensity. They didn't want to go home. And you got to give credit to seniors like DeAndre Chun, who made an unbelievable hustle play to get an and one for Jamari Arnold that really kind of put the game away. But I thought the biggest shot in the game, to show you how good this Huntsville team is and the contributions they're getting, we know how much the Stapler family has meant to basketball in our community. Yeah. Ronnie Stapler and those guys are going for a championship on Friday. They won last night. They'll play Priceville, I believe, in the championship game at Westminster on Friday, and they're nearly at the top of the polls, in 4A. for the Westminster Wildcats. They're unbelievable right now. They're playing so well. But again, you have to understand that Eli Stapler, the son of Scott Stapler, the grandson of Ronnie, he made the biggest shot of the game, I thought, last night. It was a situation where Albertville had kind of stemmed a rally from Huntsville. They were still up 40-30. Huntsville punched back, and it was a situation where it was 40-34, but Albertville still had a nice lead, and he made a huge three from the wing for his only bucket of the game, but it cut the lead to one possession, and I really think after that, getting that close and rallying like that, it really got Huntsville over the hump. They were able to take a lead right at the end of the third quarter heading into the fourth, which snowballed. It was remarkable. I mean, At one time, Albertville, it was 40-30, and then Huntsville went on a 25-0 run to put that game away. And then, unfortunately, as we said, we were going to have a great team go home, and we did last night. The Grissom Tigers had an unbelievable regular season, but the Sparkman Senators did something remarkable. They won 3 out of 4 against Jack Doss and the Grissom Tigers, 65-58, led by our great friend Kalen Lightford and his dad Cardell, and of course his grandfather. Kalen's had a great career, 4-year starter, 18 points last night, really led the way, and Timber Kirk had 13 as well. They had some outstanding contributions. They had 5 guys in double figures as they send Grissom home, and it'll be Huntsville and Sparkman hooking up for the 4th time in the 7A Area 7 title on Friday night at 7.
All right, there's your high school basketball recap. Other stuff going around. The NFL Combine is coming up in Indianapolis, and the NFL has sent out 324 invitations to the Combine this year. Georgia will lead the way with 14 athletes there for the Combine. Alabama will send 11 players to the NFL Combine. Christopher Allen, Jalen Armour-Davis, Slade Bolden, Christian Harris, Joshua Jobe, Fidarian Mathis, John Mechie, Evan Neal, LeBrian Ray, Brian Robinson, and Jamison Williams will head to the NFL Combine. Good to see LeBrian Ray get an invite to the Combine.
It really is. I'm glad he's healthy. He's a great kid. I still think his best football is ahead of him, Scott. I still don't think people really have seen the real LeBrian Ray yet. I was hoping he would come back as a super senior next year with a COVID year, but he's healthy, and I think he wanted to give the NFL a role. I think he was in the East-West Shrine game this past weekend.
Yeah.
And so out in California. So he's a guy that, I think has a lot of natural talent. I felt like he was a 5-star talent in high school. And so
I think his name gets called in the draft?
I don't know. That's going to be tough because he has limited snaps. I mean, he was a 3rd-down pass rusher this year in Rabbits. And, again, he missed so much time. But I think he could be a guy that, if he works out well, could certainly be drafted on that 3rd day, and he's someone that could be a steal. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. He's got the size. He's got the physical ability. LeBrian just needs to stay healthy, and certainly that's all you want. All you want is a chance to play on the next level. His former teammate Monty Rice was doing that with the Tennessee Titans before he got hurt. And I think that really probably hurt the Tennessee defense, honestly, even though, heck, it wasn't their fault. I mean, they need a quarterback. If this guy on the screen right here, Aaron Rodgers, is actually building the house in Nashville, they need to find a way to dump Tannehill and get Aaron Rodgers. But anyway, I just think overall LeBrian Ray is a guy that definitely can play on Sundays. And it's remarkable what Wade Waldrop did because he's turned out several guys that have gone on to the NFL from that James Clemens program, and that's remarkable when you consider that the school is not even 10 years old.
Right. All right, so that's Auburn will send 3 players to the NFL Combine: Zacoby McClain, Roger McCreary, and Smoke Monday. Other SEC schools: Texas A&M is going to send 9. Tennessee will send 4, which is good for Tennessee. Because there were a couple years ago where Tennessee was really going down, and they didn't have anybody, I don't think, get drafted. So that's good news for the Vols. 9 LSU Tigers, 7 from Kentucky will head to the NFL Combine. So that's coming up in Indianapolis as well. So that is good. Malik Willis has opened up on his tenure at Auburn, Drew, and we've talked a lot about this because we knew a lot of what was going on down there with Malik Willis. And he admitted to NFL.com, because now this is where everything comes out. Malik Willis was at the Senior Bowl this past weekend, and he said that he did not enjoy watching film during the early part of his career and got lazy. He said Gus Malzahn didn't have to tell him. He knew. He was immature. He had just played really well in the spring game, but learned the hard way that the spring game doesn't matter. He decided after meeting with Malzahn that he had to be better, but he needed to find somewhere else to play and find someone to help him get where he needed to go, and that was not at Auburn.
Yeah, I've said this, and I'm not taking shots at Gus now. I mean, as far as because he did a good job at Auburn and beat Nick Saban 3 times. No one else did that. But what I did say about his program as a whole is that they didn't develop pros,
right? And
because of the offense and the limited reads and not progressing. And that may be one reason. I know that the offense changed this year under Brian Harsin, but I think that may have impeded Bo Nix, from making maybe the prerequisite improvement. And I think that may be why he wanted to go to Oregon to get a fresh start. I don't think he's done a great job developing players, and I'm talking about Gus Malzahn. They don't develop linemen. They don't develop skill guys. Their quarterbacks don't play in the NFL. That's the problem. I mean, he's a good play caller. His offenses are productive on the college level, but when you're talking about transitioning to the NFL, the system doesn't do that. Same way with Art Briles. As good as Art Briles is, Scott, at building offenses, as good as he was at Houston and Baylor, look at the results when these dudes go to the pros. And I'm talking about the offensive skill people, the wide receivers, the quarterbacks. They don't progress in that offense. You're not ready for the highest level of football in the NFL. And I think that's eventually, of course, the off-the-field stuff too, with what Briles was doing at Baylor caught up to him.
Right.
But I think that ultimately that's what's caught up to Art Briles and even to Gus Malzahn. Art Briles now a high school coach in Texas, basically, and Gus Malzahn moving on to UCF. But they just don't develop pros.
The transfers then? Why do people
I think he's good at communicating and developing relationships with his players now.
Yeah, because I was like, if it's not translating to the next level, why are these guys flocking to Gus Malzahn?
Well, look, they're productive in his offense. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they were all and these guys he's been getting were all recruited by him. And I do think as a recruiter he's probably underrated. And I've heard that he has a good relationship with his players. That's obvious because all of them that are going into the portal, and he's hired some former, assistants at UCF that were with him at Auburn, especially some off the field personnel type people and analysts. So I think overall, Gus Malzahn probably doesn't get enough credit as a recruiter, but I do think he has good relationships with his players as far as with his communication skills and everything. But I'm just saying, once you get done at now UCF and once you were done at Auburn, don't expect to get your name called early in the draft. I'm not saying you won't get an opportunity to play in the NFL, but he doesn't turn out guys that end up being really good pros. He just doesn't. The only one was Cam Newton, and he was offensive coordinator, and Cam Newton was a freak of nature. Cam Newton was one of the greatest athletes to ever come through the SEC.
Be interesting to see where Malik Willis goes. Maybe the Atlanta Falcons. Huh?
I don't even want to talk about that. I'm not even. If Chad wants to chime in on that, he can. But I'm sorry.
There was an
I'm
article
not going there.
There was an article in The Athletic. And the only reason why I bring this up is because there was an article in The Athletic that suggested maybe.
I know. I saw what.
Maybe the Falcons take a flyer on.
That would be worse than Trey Lance going to the 49ers, and they're going to probably turn it over to him. They better hope Trey Lance is the real deal. Either that or they better try to get Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know if they can. I'm just saying. Mercy.
All right, let's get that break in. When we come back, Justin Johnson, Columbia High School, going to talk Columbia.
Buzzer beater.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck 231 and Joe Quick reported with injuries. Got one in Decatur at Grant and Somerville that may be an injury type. And we got traffic signal work at Washington and Max Luther. That may be a problem throughout the morning. No hose, no mask. Ask Dr. Sandman. That's Dr. Sandlin for information on the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea or snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This is the only place for Drew DeArmond, Wes Neighbors, and of course, Tom Abraham.
I never met him, but I hear that he's a man of character.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Indeed, welcome back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 30 minutes left, or no, 28 minutes left of our fun on a Thursday morning.
And there was only about 1.2 left in the game that the other night.
Yeah, Speaking of fun, there's a thing right now where if you win and you're into the area finals, it's fun because your season is still going on.
It is.
If you didn't win that first game, now it's you feel that that sense of sadness a little bit, the disappointment, the heartbreak. But there's also a sense of relief and joy when you're having to watch the ball go in at the very last second, not from like 10 feet or 20 feet, but maybe about 50 feet.
Yeah, and it's the old saying, don't blink, because you can bank it in and stay alive, and that's what our next team did, 59-58. They send home Andy Blackston's Madison Academy Mustangs. Andy Blackston, remarkable program, remarkable run he's had there. But what just a sequence of events for the Columbia Eagles, who beat the Mustangs 3 times. That's very hard to do. And now they have moved on to the area championship game, and they will be taking on the Hazel Green Trojans. It will be at Hazel Green. It was an unbelievable finish for the Columbia Eagles and their head basketball coach, who, of course, we caught up with during our city media day, and we talked with him during the season and before the Huntsville City Classic as well to talk Eagles basketball. But they have come a long way in year one because they are still playing, and they had a remarkable finish. And we wanted to talk to Justin Johnson this morning and talk some Eagles basketball. Coach, welcome back. You're with Drew and Scott this morning, and congratulations on such a remarkable performance by your team when it mattered the most.
Yes, sir. Thank you. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing good,
well,
Coach. And the last time I saw you guys was at the Huntsville City Classic on opening day, and the ball really did not bounce your way that day. It was a tough day. But since then, this team seems to you get into area play when the games mean the most, and you get into area tournament play, and it really means the most. This team seems to have turned that corner, as you said, even at the Classic, trending in that right direction when it matters the most.
Yes, sir. I think that's a testament to my kids and the buy-in. Like, this is my first year here, so the biggest thing was to get the kids to buy into the culture that we're trying to build and a culture of accountability and discipline, to be quite honest with you. We had a lot of, I wouldn't say problems at the beginning of the year, I would say growing pains when it comes to learning me and learning my expectations of what to expect of a Columbia athlete, student athlete. So we just had to nip all those problems in the bud, and I think that Sparkman whooping, because that's what it was. I like to call it what it was. They whooped us, and I think we needed that. I think that was the best thing that ever happened to us, because I have 11 freshmen and sophomores, so they're very, very young. So they needed that. They needed to grow up. A lot of these kids, they've been the best on their teams growing up. They've been dominating the competition in middle school, but they had to figure out very quickly this is not middle school anymore. So I think they're learning, and I love these guys, and I'm proud of the growth that they've had in this short amount of time.
Well, I've got to ask you, because watching the replay, which was shot, I saw several different angles of it. Olivia Whitmire won, and then the NFHS feed. But what's crazy about that last play, I'll let you in a minute just detail what you guys drew up, but it really looked like that Cameron Fowler called bank and basically knew that sucker was going in. That's what it looked like to me, the way he followed through.
Well, Cam is clutch. Cam is one of those guys who I probably have one of the closest relationships with Cam, because I'm on him. I ride him. I'm on him very hard, and we had that kind of tough love relationship to where we butted heads a little bit at first, but he's one of the guys who does exactly what I ask, and he does it the right way. And I want to sit here and lie to you and tell you I went to the sideline and I drew that up. The only thing I said when we came out to the sideline, Cam better shoot that shot. That's the only thing I said. And I think that's a testament to Cam's hard work. He trains with J.R. Strobridge, and J.R. has him shooting the exact same way every time he shoots it. But when he let it go, like you said, he held that arm up, and he looked at me. He shot the ball, and he looked over at me. And when he made the shot, he said, "I made it." And I looked. I said, "You made it." And I was scared. I heard him because I tackled him. I was like, man. It was one of the best moments I've ever had in my life. And right after, I was scared. I was like, I just hurt him. I just tackled him to the ground, and I hurt him. But it was, I can't explain it. It's kind of like, because I'm an Alabama fan, it's kind of like when we got beat by the kick six at the end of the game.
Well, Coach, Then what was? I mean, you had to say a little bit more than that in the timeout. Did you not?
I really did. I promise you, I did. I'm gonna tell you exactly what was going through my mind. We turned the ball over right before that. My point guard passed it in. We turned it over, and Cam fouled the guy. And in my mind, I was like, man, we can't go out like this. So when they shot the free throw and we got the rebound, the ball went out of bounds, so we got it. They called a timeout. So in my head, I was like, okay, let me calm these kids down. So I looked at who I had in the game, and literally all I said was, Cam better take this shot. That's all I said. I said, spread out, Cam better take this shot. And that's exactly what happened.
Well,
we were at an odd position on the floor. Like we were
right
in the back court on the side. So it's not too much I can really draw up except a long pass.
How much time was on the clock?
1.2, right, Coach? 1.1, 1.2?
Yeah, Coach, how much time?
1.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I told Cam, get it going forward. I said, Cam better take this shot, get it going forward. And they looked at me, I looked at them, and I said, let's not go home. That's it. That's literally all I said.
And you're not going home,
Nope.
Coach. You're playing in the
Sure
air.
not.
You're playing for an area championship.
It's what I've said.
sir.
You're 1-0, man. Don't blink.
Yeah, that's and I tell them all the time. That's our mantra and that's our motto. 32 minutes. And I'm happy we didn't play 31 minutes and 59 seconds. I'm happy we played 32 minutes. Those kids play their heart out, and I can always say, throughout the year, we only maybe had one or two games where I didn't think the effort was where it needed to be. But I'll say these kids, man, they play their heart and their soul out every single game. And I tell them, if you do that, you get rewarded for that. Whether it's however you want to see the reward coming, it's going to come because you left it all on the floor. Those kids, man, that's why I was saying to my head, we can't lose like this because they left it on the floor. They played wall to wall for 32 minutes.
Well, and we're talking Columbia Eagles basketball with first-year head coach Justin Johnson. Before we talk about the matchup with Hazel Green, I know you talked about Cam Fowler making that huge shot, but talk about some of the other kids that stepped up in the game because to put you in position to make that shot to win. Who played well for you the other night against Madison Academy?
I always got to give a shout-out to my point guard, Jacoby Eddy. He's a ninth grader, and he's going to be very, very special. Remember that name. He's going to be very special. Jacoby Eddy. Jalen Glover. He's a freshman also. I put him on the team's best player. He does what he's supposed to do. I had a senior, Will Fulford. He stepped in. He doesn't get much playing time, but this game, it was his type of game. And I always Keyshawn Watkins. Keyshawn is one of the most special players I've ever seen in my life. He averages right now, I think, 27 points and 15 rebounds. So he's an awesome player. I had another senior, Dylan Kirk. He stepped up. It's a list of guys. Chris Morris. The guys, they know me, so I just have a feel. I really don't have a set rotation going into the game. I just have, okay, if he's hot right now, he's hot right now. So I put him in. Keontae Watkins. I had everybody step up because if you can watch the film from early in the year, we didn't run man-to-man at all for the first half of the year, and very sparingly before we got into area play. They weren't ready to run man-to-man. They weren't disciplined enough to run man-to-man. But we lock up man-to-man for the last 8 games, and we won 6 out of 8. And that's because you can play defense. And I tell them defense is going to win these games. So I had I had Devin Lee, the football player. He never played. He played that game. He had that guard, Coach Blackson's son, who is, by the way,
really good player, yeah.
Excellent basketball player. And that's one of the only things with that game. The first image I saw was he dropped to the floor, and that broke my heart because I felt that before. And I went over and I told him, man, he's one of the best I've seen. He's an excellent player. And Coach Black is an excellent coach.
Mm-hmm. He certainly is. He's had a remarkable run, 5 state titles there. Drew Blackson, a great career. Point guard, headed to Trevecca on the college level. Had a great senior season. Hate to see it come to an end, but that's the finality of the whole deal. But your team's marching on. Certainly the Hazel Green Trojans have 8 seniors under Jeremy Crutcher, a great friend of ours, great coach. They've had a good year in their own right. But talk about the challenge of playing them on Friday, 7 o'clock on their home floor. And certainly you're going for an area title, which is huge for your program. But talk about the challenge of taking on a veteran Trojan squad. As young as your team is, Coach, the core of it being, as you said, 11 freshmen and sophomores, a huge senior class for Hazel Green, 8 seniors led by T.I. Scruggs. This is a program, and Jalen Curry, they are a veteran group.
Yes, sir. I call them the Monstars, just like on Space Jam. Those guys are monsters, man. They're huge. Crutch, excellent guy. Crutch, he's one of the guys who reaches out to me quite often. and we actually talk often. Those guys, like you said it earlier, they just the length and the size. So it's always going to be a challenge because we have I call them the little boy bodies. They have their grown man bodies. So we're still growing into those bodies. But those are the type of games I like because we got to fight. And I tell my team all the time, make them knock you out. So that's the mentality we go into the game with. So if we get beat, they're going to knock us out. So they're going to have to knock us out. We're not going to lay down. But it's going to be, like I said, we're going to fight. I can't guarantee anything. I can only guarantee we're going to play as hard as we can for 32 minutes.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck in that area championship game.
What a remarkable shot.
Yeah.
What a remarkable moment for your first-year program with Columbia. We're very proud of what you guys have accomplished, and good luck on Friday against the Hazel Green Trojans, and have a chance to bring home an area title. But we do know this, you will be headed to sub-regionals as well, which is a great accomplishment. Congratulations, and what a great win for your kids, and continued success in this postseason run.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's get that break in. When we come back here, tomorrow's headlines today, we'll wrap up our Thursday extravaganza.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck in Morgan County, 31 in Thompson Road reported with injuries. Still trying to clear an injury wreck, 231 in Joe Quick. That one had some northbound blockage and problems with the traffic signal, County Line and Madison Boulevard. They're reporting that signal out completely. Have you tried numerous weight loss plans and nothing seems to work? Odds are your hormones are the problem. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
It's football season again, which means it's football season again. And here at Frank's Red Hot, we've put together a completely exhaustive list of essentials that will bring everyone together on game day. Essential number 1, Frank's Red Hot. I mean, come on, people, that was a given. Number 2, wings. Like, just so many wings. Okay, it looks like that's it. There's not even a third thing on the page. Do I just say the first 2 essentials again, or is that weird? Nope, just Frank's and wings? Okay, that's okay, yeah. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Get your Ford your way today. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got F-150s in stock right now. We have F-150s on the ground so you can climb behind the wheel and take a test drive today. Plus at Woody Anderson Ford, our 2021 F-150s come with $1,000 in bonus cash, along with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months with your good credit. This offer ends February 28th. To be clear, these F-150s are in stock today, ready for your garage tonight. Now let's talk about making a custom factory order. Not only is there no extra cost to custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on 2022 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, and Mustang. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and you'll see how easy it is. And speaking of easy, our service department is now offering free pickup and delivery when it's time for your next Ford service. Ask about it at Woody Anderson Ford, the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Look forward to seeing you.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The NFL making it official yesterday. For the first time ever, Munich will host a regular season game in 2022. The NFL going to Germany next season. It'll be one of 5 international games staged by the NFL in 2022. They'll have one in Mexico and 3 in the UK. So the NFL going overseas next year for 5 games. The Jacksonville Jaguars already one of the teams that'll be playing overseas. We already know that. We don't know the other matchups, though. But the NFL going to Germany next year.
Crazy. They've been going to London. Now they're going to Germany.
They're going to Mexico, Germany. They're going to play in Bayern Munich's fantastic stadium over there. So the NFL going overseas. I know Steve Moulton put a question out there. Will the Super Bowl ever go overseas? You think that's something that would?
I can't see that. I can't see it. Overseas for the Super Bowl. If it did, it would be London, but no. The Super Bowl is an American event, okay? Even if you have to pay $9 to $10,000 to go. So it's I think, and Joe Burrow's father was on Feinbaum on our station the other day.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how some of his friends have had to pay $9 to $10,000 because the players only get 2 tickets apiece, okay? And usually that's going to go to the spouse or the mother or the father, the parents,
grandparent,
whoever, the family, right?
Yeah.
And so, but if the players want other friends and family to come to the game, then you got to gather tickets, and it might cost you a pretty penny because the Super Bowl it's crazy. I mean, what was it, 180,000 hotel rooms? I heard it already been booked up in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Something.
we did. I wish we would have. I mean, it would have been fun. We had fun in Atlanta, and I looked, and apparently Atlanta's going to try to get 2028. That is what they're
so basically
hoping
what
to
you're
get
telling
2028.
I'd like to cover a Super Bowl. That would be something.
I want to go back and do it again. I want to go back.
I'd like to also go to the game. That would be crazy just to see the spectacle of it all live in person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hello to Joe Buck. Not a fan, but I'd like to be up there in the.
Why do you despise Joe Buck so bad?
I don't know. He and Mandel, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Joe Buck is a good broadcaster, okay?
He's just not one of your favorites.
He's not one of my favorite guys. No, he's just not.
Well, this Super Bowl, though, you get ready to say goodbye to Al Michaels because this will be his last Super Bowl with NBC.
He's had a remarkable career. I mean, what a career. What a career he's had.
When it comes to college football recruiting real fast, 24/7 Sports said, okay, California, Georgia, Florida, and Texas, the big states. Who controlled the big states when it came to recruiting? Well, California, Arizona, and USC got the most of the biggest recruits out of those states, as you might expect. When it comes to Florida, who got the most of the big-time 24/7 recruits out of the state of Florida? Alabama.
Yep.
They got 5 out of the state of Florida. Georgia and Miami got 4. Drew, Florida and Florida State, 1. Florida got 1 out of the state of Florida. Florida State got 0 when it comes to big-time talent out of the state of Florida.
I can just tell you, Mike Norvell's on the clock.
Or my bad, Florida State got 2. My bad. Florida State got 2, Florida got 1.
He is still on the clock. He really needs to turn it around at FSU. I think Billy Napier will change that narrative with Florida and Mario Cristobal. It's going to become harder to get players out of there. But Florida State's definitely third on that totem pole, and that has to change quickly for Norvell if he wants some long-term viability.
Georgia, the state of Georgia. Georgia ruled the roost. They got 9 of the top prospects out of the state of Georgia. Tennessee got 4. Texas A&M got 3. Alabama and Auburn got 2. Ohio State got 2. Jackson State got 1.
Well, they got it from Florida State. But I just to say this, I mean, I guess kids grow up their whole lives in the state of Georgia wanting to lose 4 times in College Station legally.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
This next one will make you happy then. In the state of Texas, Texas A&M got 10.
ATM, remember
Texas ATM got 10
right.
of the top prospects out of the state of Texas.
But that is the state of Texas. That makes more sense than people
Yep.
growing up in Georgia and Mississippi and all these other places just wanting to put on that Aggie helmet and lose 4 games.
Steve Sarkisian got 7
Yeah.
in Texas. Ohio State got 2. Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Houston, LSU, and Oklahoma got 1 out of the state of Texas.
Remarkable.
So that's how the recruiting numbers broke down. I thought that was interesting that Florida controlled by Alabama, used to be controlled by Florida State, Texas now controlled by Texas A&M, Georgia controlled by Georgia.
No question.
All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, shall we, real fast?
And talk some Westminster basketball with Jimmy Lay, who's been good enough to join us this morning. Jimmy, always great to speak with you, man. Welcome, and a great win for Ronnie Stapler and the Westminster Wildcats last night.
Another win where they held the team under 30 points. 7 times this year they've held teams under 30 points. They only give up an average of 38 points a game, and it's a lot of defense, but it's also they don't come up and jack up the first shot. They come down, they work it around to get the best shot they can, and that's how he does it. A shot clock would not work well for them, so I know they're not hoping that the HSAA will put a shot clock in. But I tell you what, they're on a roll. They've won 20 in a row. They started the season 5-5, and everybody's kind of like, well, I don't know how good they're going to do. But they've reeled off 20 in a row. They have played 11 ranked teams this year, and they're 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on a roll, and they got Priceville tomorrow night for the Area 13 championship. They've already beat Priceville twice. The first time they played Priceville, they held them scoreless in the first quarter.
Wow.
That's just amazing. In fact, they did the same thing to Randolph when they played at Randolph. Held them scoreless in the first quarter and only 3 points at the half. So it's a lot of defense, but they just got, and he's got a deep bench. I mean, they play 10 players every game. Sophomore Chase McCarty, 6'5" guard. He can raise up over anybody and shoot the 3, but he's also strong enough to muscle it inside. Got a 6'5" kid, Jackson Hammond, got a 42-inch vertical leap. You've probably seen some of the highlights I send you guys. Him dunking on folks. He's got a great chance for Ronnie Stapler to win his 4th state championship. I believe it's going to come down between them and probably Jacksonville at Jacksonville State in the regional semifinal. Ronnie wouldn't want to hear me say that. He wants to talk about, don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. But just looking at it realistically, that's kind of where it goes. And I think the winner of that game will probably be your state champion.
Well, it's going to be remarkable. We did see Jacksonville in the Huntsville City Classic. They got a lot of individual talent. And I know Cade Phillips has been banged up with a foot. We'll see how effective he can be. He's a 6'8", the son of John David Phillips and Reagan Croyle Phillips, an SEC prospect. But certainly I have seen those highlights. Saw McCarty last year. He was remarkable. I mean, I think he's just a sophomore and he's very smooth, a guy that's going to be a Division I prospect. And then Hammond has missed a lot of time injured but seems to be healthy now. And I know Ronnie's had some great players. I don't know that he's ever had a kid with the explosive leaping ability of Jackson Hammond.
He caught a alley-oop last night that, I kid you not, he's got a lot of curly hair, and his hair was hitting the bottom of the rim when he slammed that thing home.
Wow.
Just incredible leaping ability. And it makes it very hard to play them. They've got several really good three-point shooters. Senior Jason Bledsoe. You got a good inside-outside game, but they just move the ball around. It's not stagnant. You see a lot of teams where 4 guys will stand around the three-point line and and one guy will sort of be your token post guy. That's kind of where basketball has gone. But they are constantly moving the ball. It makes it really difficult. A lot of teams have had to go to zone against them, that 1-3-1 high trap, to keep them from being able to penetrate so much. You got junior Eric Robinson, so smooth out front. He just has a lot of weapons this year, and they really got a great shot to win this thing. Priceville, great win last night over JP2, and they're coming in, and they're not going to just lay down. They're going to play them tough. But I've looked to Westminster to take the Area 13 title again.
Well, we thank you for the coverage, man. We appreciate you tagging us.
You got it.
Thanks. All right, that's going to do it for our 2 hours of Talking Ball here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Fun 2 hours, fast 2 hours.
Yep. A lot of high school basketball talk. Love it.
Yep. We're going to wrap up the show tomorrow. We're going to wrap up actually the week tomorrow. Actually, that's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up the week tomorrow. Maybe get us ready for the Super Bowl. We haven't really talked a lot about the Super Bowl. We need to talk about the Super Bowl because it's going to be played on Sunday in L.A. Should be a fun one.
Thanks to John, and we're going to talk to John Schulman, and we appreciate Coach Silas, Coach Brown, Coach Johnson. Great conversation. Jimmy Lake calling in. Everybody have a great rest of your morning and afternoon.
All right, guys. See you.